Hello everyone, I am the Basement Dweeb, you can call me Nova, and today we will be talking about Fruits Basket, the final episode 5. I mean, you know, right? So today's MVP was 100% Momiji, and we will be talking about him a bit later. I'd like to save the best for last, but we're going to talk about Shigure and Kyo because they had some important moments in this episode that really hit me hard, you know? So first we're going to talk about Shigure. Now Shigure in this episode is kind of being, he's being the man that he is, the little jerk that he is, and, messing with Akito, who is still really hung up on what happened last week with Hatsuharu. She's locked herself in her room, she's kind of drawing into herself, she's not talking to people, and Shigure is just pushing her buttons because that's what he do, and he, and Kurono and Hattori are both like, why are you treating her like garbage? Why are you being so mean? And Shigure basically says, I don't want to, I'm not a nice person, so I'm not going to pretend to be a nice person because that's not who I am. And then he kind of goes into this monologue of, it's kind of always bothered me how my heart functions. I've never wanted my parents to love me. It's never really bothered me that much that we were possessed by Akito and all that. And if that makes me twisted, then I guess I'm twisted. But, I'm not even bothered by the fact that I'm twisted, maybe I shouldn't have dreamed about Akito all those years ago and stuff. And I'm just like, yeah, you're kind of twisted, but, it's fascinating because he's aware that he's twisted and he doesn't really care. And it's really fascinating because, characters like that, because he's not a terrible person, question mark. I don't think Shigure is a terrible person. He's a very interesting person because he wants to love Akito, but at the same time, he's so confusing. I get so many mixed signals, about Shigure, which is good, because that means he's a well-written character, and it's fascinating to watch him, but I just get so confused. I'm like, are you a good person, or a terrible person? Ow. Are you gonna, be nice to Akito, or are you gonna treat her like garbage? I don't know half the time, which makes it all the more fun, because I have, half the time he's on screen, I have no idea what this man is gonna do, which is so fun to watch. TLDR, I love Shigure. He's a great man. Okay, next we're going to talk about Kyo. Kyo didn't have as much screen time this week as some of the other characters, as, Momiji or Shigure, but he had a couple of moments that were really, that hurt me in the heart, but, in the way that only Fruits Basket can, in the good way. So we're going to talk about that really quick. So Kyo today is, Kyo was struggling this week. The main thing was, he went up to the roof, to do what Kyo do, and he found Momiji up there after something that happened, and we'll get into that later. But he was talking to Momiji, and Momiji's like, "Hey, you know how Toru feels about you," and I'm gonna go into details about the things that led up to that again in the Momiji segment because it's very important in the Momiji segment. But he was like, how Toru feels about you. You shouldn't give up on her. And he said that early in the episode too. Basically, Momiji's whole thing with Kyo this week has been, don't give up, because Kyo really wants to give up, because he doesn't want to think. And he says that, hey, shut up, don't talk to me about it, it's too much, I don't want to think about it. Because he doesn't want to think about the fact, because he knows, at this point, he has to know that Toru loves him. But he doesn't want to think about that, because he doesn't think there's any way for him to escape being locked up after he graduates. He does not think there's a way for him to escape, so he thinks that the only thing he can do is just do the best that he can, be with Toru as much as possible, and then just go away, after he graduates, and never think about her again. Well, never think about her again. Never see her again, and that's just how it's going to be, because there's no way for him to stop it. And he doesn't want to think about the fact that Toru loves him because that's going to hurt him more, and it's going to hurt her, and he knows that it's going to hurt her when he leaves, and he knows that he's going to be hurt a lot when he has to go because he loves her. And he doesn't want to think about that because he's like, I don't want to cause her more pain because stuff that happened down the road that I know, but I'm not going to spoil because some of you are anime only, but he doesn't want to cause her more pain than he might have already had. He doesn't want to hurt her. He doesn't want to be, cause her problems because he loves her and he wants her to be happy. And so he doesn't want to think about the fact that she loves him because that's going to hurt. He doesn't want to deal with it, so he's just running away. And that's really interesting. Because, we know, because it's not very characteristic of Kyo. Kyo faces his problems head on, but he's, starting to give up because he doesn't think there's a way for him to stop this. So he's thinking about giving up, and it's really interesting because we see a side of Kyo that we don't normally see. And I really liked that. It was very interesting. Alright, so now we're going to talk about the MVP of this week's episode, my boy, Momiji. Now, Momiji's curse is broken, which let me tell you right now, when I saw that, when his curse broke, like, because I thought maybe Hatsuharu's curse was broken at this point, because it was showing her talking, it was showing Akito dreaming about her dad, and then it was showing, her, oh crap, I forgot! I completely forgot to mention that, I think, and if I did mention it earlier, I apologize, you're getting this again. I forgot to mention in the Shigure segment why he acts like, another reason why he acts like a jerk. Akito associates kindness, he mentions explicitly, I don't want to be her father. I completely forgot this, it was in my notes and I was thinking about it, I'm like, oh no. Akito associates kindness with her father, Akira. And Shigure says, I don't want to be her father. He does, so that's why he acts like a jerk, because he doesn't want her to associate him with her father in any way, shape, or form, because he does not want that. He loves her in like a romantic sense, and he's like, yeah, if she associates me with being her father, she never gonna love me romantically, so we're not gonna do that. Anyway, that's out of the way. Let's talk about Momiji. So my boy Momiji is a man now. He grew, like, when I first saw him, I was like, my brain said, oh my gosh, he grew like 3 feet, and I was like, calm down. No, he didn't grow 3 feet, he grew like 8 inches or something, because I looked it up because I was curious, and he was 5'1" before his growth spurt, and Toru, and for reference, Toru's the same height as me, she's 5'3", and he's at least half a head taller, so he's probably 5'8", 5'9", somewhere in there. He's pretty tall now. And I was like, oh my gosh, my boy's a man now, he's so big! And I was just like, oh my gosh! And then later in the episode, because he goes over to Shigure's house, and with Yuki and Hatsuharu and Toru, and and Kisa and Hiro show up, and then they're all kind of together, and except Kyo's kind of up in his room. And Momiji's like, oh hey, and then Toru's like, hey, where's Kyo? And Momiji's like, oh, he's upstairs, I'll go grab him. Pardon me. And he goes upstairs and, is like, hey, yeah, come on down. And Kyo's like, okay, wow, you sure got tall. And then Momiji's like, I know, if it keeps up, I'll be taller than you and more good looking. And then Kyo kind of rolls his eyes. And then Momiji goes, maybe, if I'm lucky, if I propose to Toru, she'll actually say yes. And then Kyo kind of gives him a look, and I'm like, Momiji, I love you. You are a wonderful boy. But I wouldn't poke that bear. I think that's probably a bear that shouldn't be poked. And, at that point, he walks up to Kyo and he goes, that would hurt, wouldn't it, if someone took, if something like that happened, no giving up on your dreams. It would sting, wouldn't it, if someone took Toru from you. And then he kind of goes, and then he just kind of, acts like his normal self, goes downstairs and says, let's go help them with the curry. And Kyo's still kind of standing there looking depressed, and I'm just like, poor Kyo, but also, like, Momiji! Like, I knew that Momiji was in love with Toru. Like, I've read the manga, but I'm just like, my boy. And then, later that night, actually, because after Momiji's curse breaks that night, like, after the whole thing with the curry, like, when he is at the house with all of them, his curse was still there. And then that night, his curse breaks in the middle of the night, and sorry, my sister just texted me. Sorry, distracted for a bit there. Let's continue. So Momiji sees Kyo. Sorry, lost my train of my sister distracted me. I lost my train of thought. Momiji, that night, Akito feels the curse break and runs to Momiji, and Momiji says, and Momiji talks to himself saying, I wonder whatever bound me to this person. Like, she's so, like, he doesn't know Akito is a woman. Like, this person is so small and pitiful and weak and stuff. And Akito's like, don't look at me! Don't look at me with those eyes! And he's like, he tells Akito, go back to your room. I'm confused. I need some time to think. And then the next day, he goes and confronts Akito saying, hey, my happiness is my own. Well, he's saying, hey, first he goes into that later, but first he says, I'm sorry, I can't stay with you. I'm not going to be able to stay here. I want to leave, basically. And Akito's like, how dare you, You can't leave. If you leave here, you'll be homeless. You won't have a home. You won't have a family. You won't have anyone. You'll be completely alone. And he's like, yeah, so, basically. But, so he goes, it hurts, doesn't it, you know? Like, it will, I've never been more free, but I've also never been more alone because I don't have the bonds that connected me to you or to any of the others anymore. My family won't take, I don't have a family because they need me to be distant so that my mom can be happy, so that my dad can be happy, so that my little sister can be happy. I've never been more free, but I've never been more alone, but, you know, and it hurts. And then we kind of leave that scene for a bit, and then we go to the next day. No, wait, no. Hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to remember the order of things here. So before this, actually, there's a really important scene with Kyo that I completely forgot about. I'm sorry. I'm all over the place. I lost my train of thought. I watched the episode not too long ago. Sorry. This is just how I am sometimes. I apologize. So yeah, before he goes and confronts Akito, he has this scene on the roof with Kyo, where he's telling Kyo, you know, Kyo's like, you seem kind of off, and Momiji's like, maybe it's because my curse broke, and Kyo's like, what? And Momiji's like, haha, I got you. And then Kyo's like, why would you joke about that? And Momiji's like, it's not like it matters. Kyo would be much Toru would be much happy if your curse broke the mind. And Kyo's hand kind of twitches, and Momiji's like, I mean, you know, right? And then he leaves, and then Kyo's like, shut up, I don't want to hear about that. And then after that, later Momiji goes and confronts Akito, and then at the end of that scene, we kind of flash forward to the next morning, and Momiji is walking home. Well, he's walking to school, and he sees his mother, and he drops the accent. The voice actor, they didn't recast for Momiji when he got older. It's still, I watched the dub. It was still Michaela Krantz, and she did a really, really good job with Momiji, and I really liked what she did. So she made the accent more Americanized because his mother is German. Momiji's mother is German, so he speaks German sometimes, and he has a bit more of a German accent. But he drops the accent for that conversation, probably because he doesn't want his mother to remember him, because the memories aren't completely gone, and if he interacts with her too much, she might remember, and that would be painful for her, and he doesn't want to do that. But so she's talking to him, and he's thinking, you know, she's like, hey, we're going on a trip, you know, my family. Are you going to go on a trip with your family? And he's like, he said, there'll be a trip far away from me so that they can be happy and stuff. And, you know, then it flashes back to the scene with Akito, and Momiji saying, no, you know, I can't stay here. I will find my happiness. So what if, you know, if you think I can't leave here and find my own happiness, you're wrong. That's not for you to choose. That's for me to choose because it's my life. And I'm not bound to you anymore. And I can do what I want, you know. It's, my happiness might be just down the road waiting for me to catch up. I can do it. I can find my happiness. It's lonely right now, but I will find it someday. And I'm just like, yes, my boy, go be happy. Go be free. You got this. I'm so proud of you. And then, yeah, so, and then it flashes back to him talking to his mother and saying, yeah, there'll be a trip. And then, his mother's like, bye, you know, take care of yourself. And he's like, I will, you know, really, really happy and smiling. And I almost cried. Like, he was so upset and lonely, but he, you know, is smiling and he's happy and he's hopeful because he knows that someday he will find his happiness and he will be okay. But, that's the long and short of the video. That's pretty much the end. Oh, something else. I love how much Toru loves Kisa. Sorry, I stopped kind of suddenly there. My mother was downstairs and I didn't want her to interrupt my recording. Anyway, so Toru and Kisa, it was super cute. Toru was hugging Kisa and she was just saying, oh, Kisa, you're so cute and stuff. And it's just like, it's like a mother with her child. It's adorable. I love it. And then like, Yuki's like, Miss Honda, and she's like, I got distracted, sorry. I'm just like, no, it's okay. You can be distracted. I could watch you be distracted and cute for hours. It's okay. Anyway, that's gonna be the end of the video. Like, comment, and subscribe, especially please if you just leave a comment, you know. I take constructive criticism. If you think there's something I could have done better or something you think I should have brought up, please leave it in the comment section to please the almighty YouTube algorithm. I'm gonna link my Patreon and my Twitter in the description below. Follow me on Twitter. You know, if you want to support me financially, I would really appreciate, you know, following me on Patreon. I post short stories over there, all that good stuff. I still don't have a proper outro. Have a good rest of your day. Bye!